Ever since birth, Martin Brundle was destined to follow in his father's footsteps. Too bad for Martin.
Your father was a brilliant man.
Something odd is happening to me, and I don't know what it is.
Eric Stoltz, Daphne Zuniga. The Cinemax exclusive premiere, The Fly 2. Next on Cinemax.
Screaming will not help anyone, no.
In the world of the future, love can get a little complicated.
I'm sorry, kid. Total internal meltdown.
So your robot is gone, pal.
Why don't you try some real women?
But is love still possible with a real woman?
Bingo, Sam. I heard of a tracker who'll go into Zone 7. It'll get you a cherry, same make, right down to the eyelashes.
It's an adventure guaranteed to set off fireworks.
You all right?
Swallow my gum.
Melanie Griffith stars in Cherry 2000 on Cinemax.
In February, from Vanguard Cinema, the Cinemax New Wave film, Heather Chandler, Heather McNamara, Heather Duke, and Veronica Sawyer, the most powerful clique at Westerberg High.
Why are you such a mega brat? Because I can be.
Most people would die to get into it.
Heather #1 just looked right at me.
Veronica would kill to get out of it.
You were nothing before you met me.
Now JD has come to answer her prayers.
I'm a no-rest build-up man myself.
Typical killer.
He's either the man of her dreams, or a nightmare come true.
Now! I love my dead gay son. Life can suck.
Is this turnout weak or what? I had at least 70 more people at my funeral.
Loved you. I was coming up here to kill you.
That's it. We're breaking up.
The sleeper hit of 1989. Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, Heathers, a teenage love story with a body count. Saturday on Cinemax.
Cinemax in February. More movies, more choice.
'87 saw the birth of a new kind of horror movie. Hellraiser sprang from the disturbing imagination of one of the masters of modern horror. Now, Clive Barker is back with the eagerly awaited sequel, Hellbound Hellraiser II. Directed this time by Tony Randall.
I think Tony's vision, Tony's grasp of the of not just of horror filmmaking and its various techniques, but of science fiction as well, will bring a new flavor to bear on the lament configuration, on the Cenobites, on all of that.
Now what we need is skin.
He's a tough act to follow. He's a brilliant man. I can't make the same kind of film that Clive would. I'm hoping that what I bring to it will show through and will be as entertaining and interesting for an audience.
Hellbound opens up spectacular new dimensions, taking the action into the very depths of hell.
That's exciting, to see the doors open and open and open again and see new panoramas.
Oh, Kirsty, so eager to play, so reluctant to admit it.
I've come for my father!
Many of the original cast of Hellraiser return for this new adventure, including Ashley Lawrence and Claire Higgins.
I had to come back because the Queen of Hell, you see, was an opportunity I just couldn't miss.
Oh, there's lots of nastiness I have to go through this time. There's catwalks and abysses and labyrinths and all sorts of things.
And there are some new faces, like talented young star Imogen Borman.
I play Tiffany, and she's basically the puzzle solver. And without her, no one would be able to get down to hell. And she's meant to be very intelligent.
Look, we're alone in all of this. And we
We have to help each other.
It's wonderful to have the same people. I think they're the best crew in the world. And working with Ken Cranham is a joy. I mean, he's just great. He just kind of understood the whole thing. I don't know what that says about him.
In my own childhood, I was very fascinated by such things, and the Chamber of Horrors to me was the perfect place to go, and the first thing I ever built with my Meccano set was a gallows. You know, my nephew, Ben Cranham, who's 12, thinks that this is the best career move I've ever made.
Basically, the worst thing I have to do in this film is pull Julia's skin off, and I reach for the puzzle in her hand, and our fingers interlock, and I give a big wrench, and her skin kind of peels off with a disgusting ripping sound.
They changed the rules of the fairy tale. I'm no longer just the wicked stepmother. Now I'm the evil queen. So come on. No! Take your best shot, Snow White.
I think Hellraiser 2 will be much, I think worse is the wrong word, better in the sense that we use kind of better, scarier, more evil, more disgusting, more kind of blood and all the rest of it. Kind of Hellraiser 1 plus.
This sort of film, which is basically a special effects film, is like any other text. If you act it well, it works, and if you don't, it doesn't. I thought that Claire was particularly effective.
You're sure this is what you want?
It's what I've always wanted.
There's a lot of nice bits in it that you don't find in most horror films, like Kirsty and Tiffany have a very nice relationship, and there's a few very sad scenes.
It goes further than Hellraiser 1, that's for sure. And it has a more bizarre, even more surreal element to it, I think.
It wanted soul, and I brought you.
There was certainly a good deal of blood in the first picture. I think there will be a fair amount in the second one too. You know, you can't make omelets without breaking eggs, and you can't make horror movies without breaking heads.
This month on Cinemax.
More movies, more choice. Next on Cinemax, Full Moon Madness will drive you buggy when Eric Stoltz and Daphne Zuniga buzz into The Fly 2. Next.
You've been chosen to command a highly classified operation.
Our mutual intelligence agencies,
Braves, 4 bandits, 3 o'clock.
have uncovered a nuclear weapons compound.
That is the other half of your team, gentlemen.
I thought they trained us to target these people, not rub wings with them.
You said be the biggest bunch of misfits you could find. The fallout will destroy every village within hundreds of miles.
You tell Sack to put the bombers in the air!
Cooper, get him off me!
You set us up, didn't you?
Valerie, Yuri, climb!
Louis Gossett Jr. Iron Eagle 2.
In 1932, the FBI proudly opened their academy, training their agents to be ready for anything.
Welcome to the FBI.
Yes, these founding fathers planned for everything, except Agent DeWitt and Agent Zuckerman. For one, it'll take hard work and a little more experience.
You guys in a gang or something?
I don't think you go to prayer. For the other, it'll take a miracle.
Come on, we're young, we're single, we're heavily armed.
To succeed, they'll need teamwork.
Double action or single action?
Double or single? Whatever. You know my taste.
A lot of field work.
Ooh, another new experience.
And a lot of footwork. DeWitt and Zuckerman. Together, they might just graduate the toughest course known to woman.
FBI, freeze!
Rebecca De Mornay.
I hope the people of the United States of America will be able to sleep better knowing that women like us have guns.
And Mary Gross.
To law enforcement.
Feds.
What's all this about?
Well, crashes, flashes, and frightening flashes, bungles, confusion, mistakes, and confusions, bad guys disguises and nasty surprises, practical jokers for cigar smokers, daring pursuits of hoots and cahoots, football playing shark, a shot in the dark, a robot who's not.
Target human. Mission destroyed.
Bad jokes is where I draw the line.
A big guy who's hot. Who'll save the day?
I have just the men for the job.
Ahem. Police Academy 6, City Under Siege, Friday on Cinemax.
5, 4, 3.
Award-winning performances, challenging roles, the trademark of Dustin Hoffman, starring in February on Cinemax. First, 1988's Oscar-winning Best Picture.
But I'm an excellent driver.
With Tom Cruise.
Raymond, am I using you? Am I using you, Raymond? Yeah. Shut up!
A Barry Levinson film, Rain Man.
I like having you for my brother. I'm an excellent driver.
Then, where there's actors, there's unemployment.
Nobody will hire you.
And from unemployment comes Dorothy Michaels.
You slut. I'm very proud of you, Dr. Brewster.
Tootsie. Finally, the true story of life in prison.
From which there is no escape.
A fight for freedom. A struggle for sanity. Papillon. 3 exceptional films starring Dustin Hoffman. Plus see all 3 Sunday, February 18th on Cinemax.
New this week at the box office, Dan Aykroyd and Gene Hackman team up as a couple of loose cannons, and we're on the set of the sizzling Lambada. And Oliver Stone goes back to the 60s. I'm Dara Wells with this week's Max Movie News. New at theaters this week, Gene Hackman and Dan Aykroyd are Mac and Ellis, 2 unlikely cops paired on the homicide team in the action comedy Loose Cannons.
Hey, bad guy!
Oh, wait a minute. That's my car! What you doing to my car?
Welcome to the NASCAR driving school.
Hackman quickly learns that his new partner has a rather unique approach to crime fighting.
When he sees a violent episode, he flips up into the seizure, and then he's off into the fragmented personalities. It's like it's out of control.
There's something wrong with that dude.
Currently before the cameras in Los Angeles is Lambada, the Forbidden Dance, a film based on the Brazilian dance craze that's now sweeping America. Lambada features 1985 Miss USA Laura Herring as a tribal princess from the Amazon who enlightens America about the problems of the rainforest in Brazil and the excitement of Lambada.
The original primitive Lambada dancing is all hips and really simple, and I think it's very classy, beautiful.
To lend authenticity to the dance sequences, the filmmakers enlisted the help of native Brazilians as extras, specially trained by choreographer Miranda Garrison.
Watching it, one sees the sex part, but when you're dancing it, it's everything healthy about human beings, including your sensuality, with joy, happiness, friendliness, intimacy, your friends around you.
Lambada, the Forbidden Dance, is scheduled to arrive in theaters this April. In other production news, director Oliver Stone, riding high on the success of Born on the 4th of July, will be returning to the 60s for his upcoming film biography of The Doors lead singer Jim Morrison.
Morrison went far out. He did some incredible things. I think he reminded us of what we have a responsibility to do. He was a poet. He was a dreamer, as well as a rock star. I like to get those qualities on film.
Willow star Val Kilmer is slated for the role of legendary rock star Jim Morrison. I'm Dara Wells. For more movie news, look for the Max Movie Show on Cinemax.
More movies, more choice. Next on Cinemax, Full Moon Madness will drive you buggy when Eric Stoltz and Daphne Zuniga buzz into The Fly 2. Next.
Take a trip into the unknown, a journey into darkness, a voyage through hell.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It's Full Moon Madness in February on Cinemax.
You could finish your father's work.
I don't like these things.
A father's dream becomes a son's nightmare.
Something odd is happening to me, and I don't know what it is.
Eric Stoltz, The Fly 2. And relive the original horror with Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, The Fly.
What was that noise? Howling. Werewolf.
The Howling Four, the original nightmare. Then solve the puzzle and unleash the evil.
Your suffering will be legendary.
Hellbound Hellraiser II. A vicious attack.
I was raped.
From beyond.
There was no one there.
Barbara Hershey falls victim to the entity. Full Moon Madness, a guided tour to Terra in February on Cinemax. And don't miss The Fly double feature, Tuesday, February 13th.
Afloat in time, in space, there are worlds beyond worlds.
This is really, really scary now.
A vast universe of the unknown. Creatures outside imagination.
An unknown origin.
Entities as yet undreamed of.
Why is any object we don't understand always called a thing?
Futures still to be created.
We're all gonna die!
We are adrift, seeking answers to life's mysteries.
Swallow my gum.
In February, voyage into the unknowable when Cinemax blasts off with science fiction. Star Trek, the motion picture.
Head warp 0.5.
I cannot guarantee that you'll hold up.
Twilight Zone, the movie, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Cherry, 2000, World Gone Wild. The Ultimate Warrior. Cinemax in February. More movies, more choice, more science fiction.
In February, at the drive-in. Dead Air. Clint Eastwood in Escape from Alcatraz. Retribution and Double Exposure. All the action you need at the drive-in in February on Cinemax.
Some marriages are made in heaven. This one was made in prison.
You want to marry me? I'll pay you $5,000.
Where are you heading?
Anywhere.
Rebecca De Mornay, Vincent Spano, Frank Langella, in the uncut European version of Roger Vadim and God Created Woman.
Raw, please.
It takes more than sensational arrests and spectacular chases to make a cop film these days. It must be authentic. No one knows that better than director Richard Benjamin, who hired Call the Cops as consultants to his newest feature, Downtown.
Background!
Downtown, an action comedy set in Philadelphia, is the story of a by-the-book suburban cop, played by Top Gun's Anthony Edwards, and his streetwise urban counterpart, played by Forrest Whitaker, the star of Bird. The pair must learn to work together to capture a ruthless drug czar. Benjamin wanted a very realistic feel to the film, so he called in Call the Cops, 4 current Los Angeles policemen whose year-old company advises filmmakers on the technical aspects of police work. In Downtown, the badges worked closely with the stars.
Our job is really to make them look as real as possible, to make them look as relaxed and comfortable with a gun or with handcuffs or with a search as possible, because obviously the more real they look, the better the film will look and the more comfortable they'll feel.
Get out there! Get against the wall!
They had a scene where Forrest was coming out of the back of a structure with a couple of suspects, and one of them was already handcuffed, and they were having a small problem in how they might have him handcuff the second suspect and not have the other one really under control.
Action!
What it does is sometimes it takes an awkward situation and makes it a little bit easier for the actor as well as for the film crew.
I was working with police officers, and they were showing me techniques, and actually got to go through a number of arrests and situations like that.
This was a writer's idea, and we were trying to make it come to life. So try to be true, technically, to those aspects, and you know, find out how they carry their guns, and hopefully you adapt those things to work for the script.
Though Call the Cops is still just starting out, business is anything but a bust. And director Benjamin was pleased that Walker brought more than just a natural expertise to the set.
The cops that I've met and worked with on this film and in the work we've done with policemen and getting ready for this film,
These cops love what they do, they're thoroughly professional, and they want to do it well.
If the results in downtown are any indication, Call the Cops is doing a bang-up job. So, when you need a cop,
call the cops.
Ever since birth, Martin Brundle was destined to follow in his father's footsteps. Too bad for Martin.
Your father was a brilliant man.
Something odd is happening to me, and I don't know what it is.
Eric Stoltz, Daphne Zuniga. The Cinemax exclusive premiere, The Fly 2, next on Cinemax.
Screaming will not help anyone now.
We're counting down to all the excitement in February on Cinemax, where you can always count on more movies, 135 movies, more choice, more stars.
No one will hire you.
Just watch me.
Yeah, watch him, her, all February long in Rain Man.
How was that?
Where? Tootsie and Papillon. He's Dustin Hoffman, starring in 3 of his greatest roles. Don't miss him.
Certainly not, boss.
From our director's chair, Visions of Hell and Heavenly Flights of Fancy. 4 films from Alan Parker.
Aren't you going to introduce me properly?
No introductions needed here.
I love compliments.
4 great films starring the legendary Betty Davis.
That's how legends are made.
And this is how Valentines are made, with loving films from the heart.
I think you're beautiful.
Do something funny. Sanctuary! Sanctuary!
You're putting me on.
No kidding?
No kidding.
So, if you gotta laugh,
Yeah, it's one of those emergencies.
take a joyride with Cinemania.
Then what happens? Another little shootout?
It's what I'm paid for.
And it's what you can expect from our Best of the West. From Vanguard Cinema, a real eye-opener.
I just killed my best friend.
The Cinemax New Wave film Heathers. Better shape up for the rigors of Military Max. Coming in March. Jackknife and Lean on Me. Cinemax in February. More movies, more choice.
The following movie is rated R.